Good afternoon. Welcome to the first press conference of the season of Coach Stefano Pioli. Well, we're not alone. We've got two shirts to introduce, especially this one over here. I think it's very beautiful, especially with the symbol stamped on its chest. We'll begin, as usual, with Mauro Suma from Milan TV. Good afternoon to the coach. Not on the eve of a game, but on the eve of a whole season. This morning, I saw everyone involved, everyone engaged, including players like Castillo, who weren't really used last year. How do you manage it? Well, it's one of our secrets. Mine, the technical areas, the clubs, the whole work group. Our secret is to continue to believe in our players, to believe in our quality, in our way of playing, and in the characteristics that are necessary to become a team. Great dedication, great enthusiasm, great willingness to work. These are things we need to hold on to and possibly improve on. To continue growing, to continue improving, we'll need to put ourselves under question each and every day in training. But we need to be aware, I am convinced that none of my players have reached their maximum potential. So we can and we must improve a lot, and we must work very hard to make sure we do improve. Moving on to Sky Sport. On the 22nd of May, the coach said that it was the best day of his sporting career. Has this been the best summer of his sporting career? It's been it's been an excellent summer. I've relaxed and had fun with friends and family, and I've met so many fans. The fans who brought us joy and enthusiasm. It really has been a thrilling summer. Last year, ahead of the first game against Sampdoria, the coach was asked if this was the strongest Milan team he'd trained. But compared to the past, what kind of players should Milan be looking for? Because winning is difficult, but defending the title is even more difficult. Well, we have to bring in players who are functional to our way of playing. We need to be creators of possibilities, finding the right solutions in the right place, starting from what I said earlier. I am completely convinced that this team has massive margins for improvement. Everything we did last season allowed us to become more aware of our potential, our abilities. But we'll need to continue improving and continue raising our level if we want to continue winning. Mediaset followed by DAZN. What does the coach think the team needs most? What positions needs covering? Well, we have ideas. We know we can work in a certain way. But now that the season is just starting, we need to make the most of our situation. Pobega has returned. He had a fantastic season. He's a strong player. He will add some physicality, which we lacked in some games. Adli's also come in. He's a very interesting young player. We'll see what solutions are available. We'll see what the market has to offer. But the directors have a very, very capable and attentive club at their back. DAZN, two quick questions. First, a personal one. Has the coach digested the fact that he is the coach who won the Italian championship? And secondly, is Ibrahimovic still a part of the sport and growing process? Well, yes, I digested it. I might have struggled individually, but the fans certainly helped it. It was an incredible sensation. But now a new season begins. We have to be fully aware of why we managed to do what we did. What we put into it, how much we believed in it, how confident we were. Today, I only had part of the group, but they were highly motivated, and I'm sure that when the other players come back, they'll also be very motivated. I know that I'm working with players who are real people, real players. I know that the recipe is to continue working day by day, focused on improving and getting as high as possible. The level has increased, expectations have increased, pressure has increased, but all that is normal, because we won and we want to continue winning. And our rivals will do their best to make life hard for us. As for Zlatan, you know what I think of Zlatan. I heard from him this morning. He's doing well. He's recovering from a serious injury. I hope I'll be able to work with him again, because he is a champion in everything. Corriere della Sera. You said that you're convinced your players have ample margin for improvement. So, a specific question on Leao. This is a crucial moment in his career. There's talks about his contract. What does the coach expect from him, in particular, following the great season he had? What more can he do? I think he can do a lot more, and it's normal, because we're talking about a 23-year-old player with good experience at his back, but not quite complete yet. This year he reached double digits, but I still think that he can and will be more decisive in our offensive play. He can open up any match and needs to do that consistently. Bianchini from Gazzetta. Question about Europe. What level does the coach think the team is at compared to the first and second tier of European teams? And a question about Dybala and De Ketelaere, who have played on different levels. Is there a profile the coach would prefer? Experience, youth? Well, talking about the Champions League, I think last season's experience taught us a lot. I don't think we're that far off from being competitive. I don't think it's possible at the moment to think of a Milan that can win the Champions League. I don't like talking about budget and money, but there are teams like Liverpool, Manchester City, who can spend more on a single player than we do on all our transfer market. I think it's very difficult to compete with English teams, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. But I'm also confident, I also believe that my team grew through the difficult experience in the Champions League. Our objective is to be competitive in Europe as well. So we'll wait for the draw on the 25th of August to see who will be up against, but I'm sure we'll have the motivation and stimulation to do well in Europe as well. As for the players you mentioned, we're talking about two very different players. But I know that I have directors who are very, very capable, and they will make the decision that best suits the team. Stampa newspaper next.
Le chiedo come ha vissuto questo mese di giugno, che comunque è stato contraddistinto dall'attesa di
How has the coach experienced
l'ultimo giorno di Maldini e Massara,
the month of June, with the renewal of Maldini and Massara arriving only on the very last day? How did the coach experience the wait? Oh, I was completely serene. We continued to work daily together. They were always very positive, always very proactive, so I was never worried. I think the reason we achieved such a result was the concreteness, the solidity we showed as a group. Two quick questions from Repubblica. First off, the coach last season talked about picking up more points than the season before, and they managed it with 70 points more and the Scudetto. Can the objective this season also be measured by points, or might it be something else? And Dida's absence in the staff, will he return or not? Well, it's difficult. Last year's objective was definitely to improve on our points. At the moment, I'm not focused so much on the objective, but on the path we must take to reach our objectives. Our path we must show courage, tenacity and determination to win every game. What the final score will be is too easy to judge now, and it's too easy to get them wrong now. So we must focus on our preparation, because we're facing a very particular season. It's the first time that 21 games will be played in just 3 months, and then there'll be a large break for the World Cup. So we're just going to focus on our work, on our job, on our preparation. Today we started our first day back so that we can pick up as many points as possible in the first half of the season. Unfortunately, Nelson told us a few days ago that he had to go back to Brazil. He gave a lot to the team, so I thank him for that, especially for how he helped Mike Magnon.
Buongiorno mister. L'anno scorso si era soffermato dopo pochi giorni di allenamento sull'atteggiamento con cui si erano presentati Tonali e Leao.
Last season, the coach outlined the mindset that Tonali and Leao returned to the team with. Could Pobega be the surprise this year? I hope so. Well, today's training session wasn't the most testing, so it would be hard to take any judgments from it, but I think he is a player that can do very well with us. Next up, local TV station, Tele Lombardia. Could the coach tell us about Adli and where he'd fit into the coach's schemes and formations? And is he perhaps a bit too attacking for the coach's way? Adli is very interesting, very capable technically. He's very good at getting unmarked and playing forward, playing direct football, looking for players who make the moves, make the run deep. I think we still need to understand what position would suit him best. He's a very intelligent lad, very well prepared. So I'm sure this period of preparation will help him understand and help me understand where to position him on the field, even though we aren't tied to any specific formation or specific positions. He's a dynamic and intelligent player, which is something that we need in our midfield. All good players who are willing to play for the team are useful to Milan. Daniele Longo next. Today, Kessie officially passed to Barcelona. A thought on two players who were very important to the team, Kessie and Romagnoli. And again, a question about what profile of player does the coach expect to come in from the market? Well, more than a greeting, I'd give them a warm hug to both players. They're both great professionals, two great players, two lads who I shared an important process with, and I wish them the best for the rest of their career. First of all, we need to evaluate what we have. Then we'll look to sort things out if there is any sorting out needed. Franco Ordine. Two questions. Inter is a lot further ahead in terms of transfer market, with 80 or 90% done. Juventus is completing its market, but Milan is only starting. Maldini said when his renewal was announced, we will recover. Does the coach think there is a lot to recover, a little to recover? I say that I'm certain that on the 13th of August we'll be ready. As the coach of Milan, if you were to tell me that tomorrow we would be completely complete, then I'd be very happy, but it's impossible. Because the more preparation you do, the more you're aware of what you need, what you might need, what you have. And different situations in the market could change things completely from your original plans. We're starting from a very solid base. And as Paolo said today, from the 15th of July, I will have a very strong team. And from the 15th or 16th July, I could already start the league with a very strong squad. Following a long break, the coach has always changed something. Might the coach change to a three-man defence in certain situations? Well, first of all, we have to point out a very important thing, Kier's return. We are missing a very important player to us for 7 months due to his technical abilities, due to his presence on the field and his presence in the dressing room. It will take him a little while to get back to full fitness, because 7 months is a lot, but he will return. As for our characteristics, a three-man defence, I think, is a possibility. But we'll always look for the best solution to be competitive. Talking about the defence, as the coach mentioned here, however, Romagnoli is leaving. And he was the only player who was a left-footed player. Now, Botman has signed for Newcastle. What would the coach want from the market? A fast player like Kalulu or Tomori? Or perhaps a more physically solid defender? Taller defender? Second question, going back to Ibra. When does the coach hope to see him back here at Milanello? As for the defender, Tomori is a right-footed player, but he plays better on the left. I myself was right-footed, but preferred playing on the left. So I don't think it's anything decisive. We'll evaluate what we have, our positions, our players, and then we'll have time to intervene in the market with the objective of always improving. If there are chances to improve, the club is ready to do it. As for Zlatan, I hope to see him as soon as possible. He's talking with the club and the directors to negotiate his new deal. If all goes well, I hope to see him as soon as possible. Obviously, he'll need time to get back to fitness.
Ciao Stefano. Ciao. Ti aspetti, hai parlato dei competitori, l'anno prossimo ti aspetti chi può migliorare o sarà ancora un testa a testa con l'Inter? E poi volevo chiederti
which clubs does the coach expect to improve next season, or does he expect a two-horse race for Inter again? And as for the market, does the coach see anyone else leaving? Well, the competitors, the rivals will be the same as last season. In the end, it came down to a duel between Inter and us, but there are at least 5 or 6 teams that could challenge for the title, because they are strong. Inter, Juventus, Napoli, Roma, Lazio. At the starting grade, we're all the same. Then, as the season progresses, it'll be the work and the quality of players and the spirit of the team that'll make the difference. We managed to create a syntony, a bit of magic, a bit of alchemy between us, which allowed us to win the title. And on the 15th of July, hopefully, we'll rediscover that alchemy. What matters most is keeping this spirit, this desire to work, this desire to grow and to be together. Always placing the team as the point of reference, never the individual. Next up, Rai Sport.
Potete passare il microfono, grazie. Ok.
Buongiorno mister.
Buongiorno.
Lei prima parlava di una stagione unica che ha una sosta in mezzo bella lunga.
The coach was talking about a particular season this year with an intense period followed by a long break and then the second half of the season. So, what does the coach think of Milan's fixtures? Last season showed that the level in Italy is so high now that there are no easy games. I did look at our fixture list to try to understand the days we'd be playing, the sequence of games, but not so much the single opponent. Every opponent needs to be faced. We are very well aware that we are an objective for everyone. Everyone will want to beat Milan. And we'll have to prepare even better than last season for each game. Every team prepares from Tuesday to Saturday to win their game, but it's a team that prepares best that will win. First of all, how on fire is Stefano Pioli on for this first half of the season as the champions of Italy? And secondly, a more technical question, how do you prepare a season like the upcoming one? On fire, if we're talking about enthusiasm and passion, then I'm certainly maxed out. Can't wait to begin with great passion, great enthusiasm from the very first day to continue our process. I don't think we'll be changing much in our preparation compared to last season. We had a very positive preparation last season, so our workloads will reflect that. Obviously, the first 10 days will change, and the friendlies will too. We'll need to divide the friendly games out a bit based on player conditions, but we have a table we set out to make sure we're ready, fully match fit for the first game of the season, and then continue till the 13th of November. Obviously, we'll need to change some strategies because we'll be playing more times a week on many occasions. The playing time and
Allora,
fatigue effort will have to be planned ahead of time.
Poi calciomercato.it e Pellegatti e poi chiudiamo. Andiamo da Mauro. Prego.
Salve mister, ben ritrovato. Senta, già dall'anno scorso non si parlava della ricerca del 7 che fa il 10 e del 10 che fa il 7. Ziyech può essere un profilo adatto a questa...
Last year there was a talk of the 7 playing as a 10 and the 10 playing as a 7, but could Ziyech be an interesting profile? I don't know. I know Messias had a good season. He has good characteristics. I know he can do better. But these are considerations we'll make over the coming days and decisions made by the directors.
Invece parliamo di un altro giocatore che non è stato ancora ufficializzato ma che il Milan ha preso, ovvero Origi.
How about a player that Milan has already signed, even though he hasn't been announced yet? Origi. What does the coach expect from him? He'll obviously be competing with Giroud, and the pecking order will be defined over the summer. But what does the coach think of the new striker? I think the most important point of your question is the pecking order. There will be pecking orders, but they'll be made game by game. It's always been my way of coaching. It's always been a strength of ours. I don't have a starting 11 in my head. This year I have 22 starters because of the number of games we have. There are far too many for us to think that Theo Hernandez, who is a force of nature, can play all games from the 13th of August to the 13th of November. Therefore, it's not so important if Giroud or Divock is ahead in the starting pecking order in the summer. What is important is having strong players with different characteristics. And I think that last bit is the most important part of all. Having different characteristics to change during the game or from game to game in such a tactical and sometimes blocked football is very important. Origi is an intelligent player. He has a lot of experience, and I expect a lot from him. Question from Calcio Mercato.
Velocemente, se leggere, vedere anche sui giornali che il Milan, la squadra campione d'Italia, non è la favorita per lo scudetto, anzi viene data come terza squadra. Che sensazione...
In the papers, Milan, champions, are not the favourites for the title this season. What does the coach think of that? Oh, I'm happy. Because last season we were 4th or 5th in the terms of being favourites. So that's perfectly fine. Predictions are made on paper, but in the end it's the field that decides the final position. We must focus on the field. Our squad is a bit too big. We have 28, 29 players. That's too many. Everyone needs to be engaged. Everyone needs to be involved. Having options is obviously a very good thing, but too many players can hamper our work. Carlo Pellegatti. I wanted to thank you on a personal level because in October I asked you to change my screen saver because it had lasted 11 years. 2 questions. First of all, which question would you gamble on surprising everyone this season? If there's a player I think I can do a lot and who can become a very top player, I'd say Bennacer. I expect a lot from him because I know he can give a lot.
Ci sono stati tanti tormentoni, Righeira, Edoardo Vianello, abbronzatissima, e adesso però quando in tutte sento anche l'altro giorno il concetto di Fedez.
There are a lot of summer hits, but this summer one of the summer hits seems to be Pioli's on fire. How does that feel? How does the coach feel about it? It's strange, but it's nice, but it's strange. The fact that the Milan fans dedicated this chant to me is thrilling. It pushes me to do even better, to be more motivated, to continue our process and to continue bringing our fans satisfaction. Because these are unique fans, they're special. Moving back to Mauro Suma and questions from Twitch and YouTube. Marco from YouTube. On a personal level, is there something the coach would do again from last season and something he wants to try that's new? It's difficult. I won't say that I'm not thinking about last season, because certainly we have to take some things from last season. We created an important base, but everything went so well. I might have made mistakes, but the quality and spirit of this team brought us to a great result. So even my mistakes were covered by our team. Compatibile from Twitch. Is it easier to win the first time or to defend the title? Well, that's something I have to try. I can assure you it was not easy to win, but we need to raise our level. We have the quality to do so, so we must focus on doing that. Last thing, question from Harry by Twitch. Not asking names, but characteristics which the market might bring to the team. Quality. Because in certain games, when the defences were more blocked and solid and waited for us, we struggled a bit more than we should have. In those games, an individual play, an extra dribble, a better shot on goal could be very useful. Thank you all, and see you soon.